It's time to kick this thing into overdrive. It's time to push the truth like never before. We are dealing with many wolves in the church. Many. Money devils. Inclusionists. Exclusionists. Some preachers believe everybody's on their way to heaven automatically. Everybody, no matter what condition your life is in, everybody's on their way to heaven. Then we have some, like the Hebrew Israelite, who believe only they are going to heaven. We have a whole lot of confusion out here. Hebrew Israelites, the mainstream Hebrew, believe only they are going to heaven because they are God chosen. Everybody else is damned. Everybody else condemned to hell already. The inclusionists believe everybody's going to heaven. No matter what your lifestyle is, no matter how you live pretty much. Just because you're a member in the church doesn't mean you're a member in the body of Christ. The Bible say, you will know them by the fruit they bear. And people wanna tell people that nobody can judge people. You're right to a certain extent, but you're wrong. He without sin cast the first stone. Most of y'all don't even know what that passage is talking about. That's one they favorite go to. He without sin and cast the first stone. Y'all have no clue what that's dealing with. Judge not, lest you be judged. The Bible said, remove the mote out of your eye, then you can see clearly to judge your fellow man. The Bible said we couldn't judge. Then you go deep into the Bible and say, judge all matters of life. Then St. John say, beloved, believe not every spirit. Believe not every spirit, but judge every spirit to see if it be of God. Now, if we don't have a right to judge what we see, all matters of life pertaining to Christians, that's what Apostle Paul said, judge all matters of life. If nobody is able to rightly judge, why does the Bible talk about discernment? Why does the Bible talk about judging spirits? We can judge what we see. We can't condemn nobody to hell, but we can judge people by their actions. God knows the heart. Yeah, God do know the heart. But for those who claim to be Christians, if their actions are not lining up to what the Bible say, then we have a right to question what we see. Something it's supposed to be like Paul say, forsaking not to assemble yourself together. We not supposed to pass judgment condemning one another, but we see something that's not right, we supposed to correct one another in love and give them the truth. That's what the Bible meant about forsaking not to assemble yourself. Stay together, encourage, even as, well, Paul said, even as much as we see the day approaching. Encourage one another. Build one up. Build one another up. Encourage them to do right. Stay in the faith. We have a right to judge what the stuff that we see. That's why God sent the preachers, the pastors. Their job is to preach the gospel. Protect the sheep. Let them know when something ain't right, when we ain't doing right, when they're not doing walk on the court. Let them know. Correction. People don't want to be corrected. It's bad in the church world today now. It's bad. Nobody wants the truth. E. Dewey Smith, Tim Rogers, they took to what Carlton Pearson left. It's strange, like I say about Carlton, it's strange how before the money come, they believed the Bible, they preached the Bible, they built the career, they built their identity all preaching the Bible. But when the money came, after they got filthy rich, then suddenly they changed their doctrine. The power of dirty money, perversion. That's the bottom line to this gospel of inclusion. Perversion. Money. Perverted money. Paul said it perverted the gospel. This is what's going on. Perversion. I seen some of that interview. E. Dewey Smith interviewing Pastor Tim Rogers. Pitiful. 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 Sad. I caught wind of E. Dewey Smith years ago. I ain't never took to his teaching. I seen a clip. I watched it. I was watching him a few years back when he had them people dancing in his church. He actually had R&B music. Had them young folks up there dancing. The older people in the church didn't like that. He would had them dancing to demonstrate or something. He was preaching a sermon, but he was trying to wicked. Wasn't no need for that. He do it one of them anything goes preacher. He's down there in Atlanta. Ain't no secret. Dewey Smith, Jamal Bryant, all of them running buddies, running partners. Ain't nothing to hold in Atlanta. Tim Rogers is just another one. He ain't from Atlanta. He from the Delta, Arkansas Delta. But money. A lot of these preachers already have those feelings. When you talk about the LBGQT, they already have them feelings. But when they get famous and get the money, get known, they're able to spread their feelings. And this is what we got now. First Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Verse 33, go back to chapter 10, verse 33. Even as I please all men in all things, not seeking mine own profit, but the profit of many, that they may be saved. That was Paul's mission, that they may be saved. You got preachers that coming along saying the same thing. They get tired of preaching, sending people to hell. That was the apostles. That what they preached. They preached against hell. They warned the people. Paul passed the letters down to the elders and to Timothy. Preached the gospel of salvation. But it's a whole lot of stuff that go into the gospel. Anybody can hear the gospel and claim to be saved, but you have to hear the whole gospel. You have to believe all of it. Everything that Jesus wrote and left on record. Preachers talking about they get tired of sending people to hell. Y'all, you must be saying you're tired of preaching the Bible. That's not what you be trying. That's what you're trying to say, right? Do. Listen at him. He do it, Smith. Question him if anybody. I know that y'all go to these people churches. Then you are looked at according to your bank account. Most of you are gullible sheeps in their eyes. If your bank account don't match them, along with they notoriety in the public, then you're considered nobody. So you're not even nowhere close able to even question them about anything. If you could, ask him about his fraternity. Ask all these preachers about belonging to Masonics. Ask them about belonging to college frats. All that stuff. Ask them about that. That satanic rituals, hazings, stuff like that. A lot of them say, well, I was in college. I didn't know no better, and I didn't do that. A lot of these preachers in the pulpit right now are wearing they frats proudly, wearing that stuff. Masons, active Masons. Then turn around and ask these preachers about them in socializing and being friends with the world. Ask them about a lot of that stuff. See what they tell you. The Bible say, friends with the world, you are an enemy to God. Now just look at all these preachers that you see consistently hanging with world people, friends. Yeah. Dewey Smith, Deion Sanders. He's a man of faith. He might be a man of faith. Faith in who? Allah? Buddha? Sun gods? He can't be a man of faith in God and living in sin. Can't be. He might have a form of godliness, but that don't mean nothing. The man got an in-house girlfriend, 2 ex-wives. The man is self-centered. He love money. He love attention. That don't seem like a man of God. Dewey Smith, a lot of these preachers, they ain't no count. They ain't nothing but wolves. Romans chapter 6, verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Being born again means you become dead to sin. But the preacher's job is to continue to preach the gospel, the whole gospel. You just can't pastor a church and preach like you preaching to saints. Everybody in the church is 100% saints and headed in going to heaven. When you pastor a church, you have many people that might be in your membership, but everybody is not in the same position, on the same level. So therefore, you have to preach sermons that will give people something to grow on. The Bible do talks about babes in Christ, right? Because Paul even said, with the Ephesians, anybody can come preaching another gospel. People would turn. They have some that, Paul even said Ephesians, they have turned and already turned about and gone back the other way. So this is why it's very important to always preach the gospel. Teach the people the gospel. That's very important. Give people the meat. Give people meat. Can't go out there and willfully sin. All of us have personal sin stuff we struggle with. It's gonna be. It's gonna be in our body. But preachers that don't preach against sin, they're not fit to be pastors. Definitely not pastors. Definitely not pastors. Being a pastor is your job to preach the total truth of the scriptures. Can't run with the world. Can't live that alternative lifestyle. Can't do it. People gonna have struggles, but as a pastor, a shepherd, it's your duty to give the people the truth. They compromised. They can't. A lot of them done got rich off of LBGQT. That what control the gospel music industry. It's 90%, 80% LBGQT. Producers, songwriters, executives. You think they finna tell them people who done made them rich? They think they gonna put the gospel on them? That's why y'all y'all that are sitting under gospel entertainers, pastors, and preachers, singers, some are pastor, preacher, singers, all of y'all in danger. Y'all need to lead them churches, lead them pastors. Y'all in danger. Y'all sitting under darkness. A lot of them preachers done went behind closed doors, sold themselves like a lot of R&B singers to get famous. Laid down in the bed, done gave their body up for that money. Quartet industry, choir in the quartet genre, all the way up. Choirs, solo singers. A lot of them done the same deeds that the R&B and pop singers do. Go behind closed doors, get in bed with folks. Ain't no strings attached to me. Don't nobody own me but God. I can talk and say what I want to say. These preachers ain't fit. They bound in sin. Jamal Bryant bound in sin. That church, I'm going to do one on that church soon. These preachers ain't no count. There's a reason why they preaching their gospel. That interview, I watched that interview via somebody else channel. E. Dewey Smith and Tim Rogers. God awful. You can tell the way they were talking back and forth that they know that what they were preaching, what they saying is total foolishness. I would like to get them in front of a John MacArthur or somebody. I wouldn't put them in front of Geno Jennings. John MacArthur, some other Bible-based preachers, and see how they've lined up. Most of these dark-skinned preachers in this country are no count. I'm telling you, not the famous, not the popular preachers. You still can find some good country preachers. Some that would probably be viewed as a bunch of nobodies like me. Local preachers who will tell you the truth. But when it comes to these popular preachers in there, just look at them. I've been looking at them for a long time now. All of them. They ain't worth a dime. All they about is making money. Money is all in their eyes, on their brain. Money. And a lot of them are bound in sin. The more money they have, the more sinning they can do. Look at what Eddie Long was doing. A lot of them doing the same thing. Sleeping with men and women. Having babies. No, they gay. Married. No, they homosexual. They wives know it. A lot of these wives are dying with AIDS. Diseases. Because they try to cover for their pastor husband. But we see via social media, all the stuff over there. Just look at Dawson. Look at him. I've been watching that man for a long time. Been doing those stories. Now, what his intent is behind the stories, but nevertheless, he do the stories. It ain't no shortage. In Atlanta, I go to Atlanta all the time. I'm in Georgia all the time. And let me tell you, McDonough, Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia is gone. The state of Georgia is gone. You'll be hard pressed to find traditional marriages. You hard pressed to find people who believe in traditional marriage. Especially the younger generation. Almost every place I go to, every place I go in, they there. And ain't nobody in Georgia around Atlanta area preaching the gospel. All them preachers, all them well-known preachers, all these churches, ain't hardly nobody preaching the gospel. Just getting that money. Doing whatever you got to do to get the money. They don't care. They are hirelings anyway. The Bible talks about hirelings. They ain't finna put their life on. They ain't finna lay their life down for the sheep, for the flock. Y'all go to these preachers' church, these pastor churches. Something pop off up in the church. Somebody come up in the church, they gonna be the first one to run. They already position themselves in the pulpit where they can see everything. Y'all gonna be the first to get attacked. They gonna be getting that. Let them doors fly open suddenly. Somebody come up there. Y'all, they looking at the doors. Y'all can't see the doors hardly. They gonna be the first somebody to get up out. They gonna leave y'all standing alone. They act like celebrities all the time. Got to be escorted in and out the church, in the back of the limos. These church folks now acting like celebrities. The apostles didn't do that. Jesus Christ, they didn't do that. Boy, if these preachers had to live like the way they lived back in the Bible, doing apostle day, doing the back, boy, I tell you, you wouldn't see none of these clowns. You wouldn't see them. They get to ride around in luxury. They had to travel on foot most of the time. They were lucky to get a donkey to ride around or whatever. Most time they had to run. They had to walk. They walk. They didn't have the comforts of life like we got now. Sometimes they had to go even without eating. Bathing, stuff like that. The comfort that we have now, these preachers put these preachers back in the Bible days. Let's see how they fare. They wouldn't make it. I'm telling you. Well, I ain't even talking about being persecuted. I'm just talking about the common stuff. Going without bathing, going without eating, no haircuts, stuff like that. Dewey Smith, Tim Rogers, all of them is no count. It don't matter about the music. It singing. That's the problem with the church now, especially our color church. We love every aspect of church except for what church is meant for. The word. We love the singing. We love the music. We love all that stuff. But that ain't it. That ain't it. It don't matter how bad your band is. It don't matter who you got for musicians, pastor. It don't matter how good your band is. I see this stuff on YouTube. I'm gonna do that later. Church have become all about a show, and the apostles talk about that. Church is nothing but a show. Look at the organ. Look at the organ player. Look at that. Look at the drummer. Look at them. Ooh, look at them. Look how it is. Nothing but a show. No spirit. Later.